Welcome back, everyone. We're going to begin part 2 after a short break. If you're just joining us, I would recommend hopping back on to part 1 so you can follow along. We're going to do some decontamination here, and we're just going to do it chemically. There's no reason to do it mechanically. There's no bonded contaminants like tar or anything. But there is a high chance of ferrous metals, either from transportation of the car being delivered or sitting on a lot next to a highway or a major thoroughfare. And what we're using here for the chemical decontamination is Geon iron. I do have an entire video dedicated to ferrous metals, but basically you just spray on the Geon iron, let it sit for a few minutes. You'll see it turn pink or maroon color. That's the exothermal chemical reaction. Then you can either remove it by a pressure washer or like I'm doing it here with a wash mitt and some shampoo. Follow that up with a thorough rinse. Take your time, make sure you get all of that out of there. A two-stage correction is coming up next, so we do want to use forced air to help dry it, especially all the moisture that could be left in between the cracks to run down the side of the car. Alright, so before our two-stage correction, we want to go around and remove all the imperfections. We want to remove all the adhesive from the protective plastic wrap that was on it. And I'm going to use Citral 266 out of an aerosol can. Just spray a little bit into a microfiber towel and remove all that adhesive. By the way, when I mention correction on a new car like this, basically, I mean it's going to be an ultra fine polish, and I'm going to follow up with Angel Wax Perfect Polish, which is a cleaner, and it has mild abrasives, so you could say it's a bit of a jeweler as well. This car doesn't need much. It's not as bad as some of the other new vehicles that I brought in. Not much marring or swirling. It does, however, have a little bit of etching from hard water spots and some overall dullness. And we definitely want to make the lighter colors like white or this silver here pop before we put any kind of protection on it. Speaking of the lighter colors, you definitely want to take your time and scrutinize every area of every panel. Make sure you have the adhesive and everything that you can get off of there and everything you can correct before you lay down protection, because once it's there, it's too late. You get out in the sun and you get in an angle where you can see this stuff, it's not going to be very good for you as a detailer. Now, there were some small areas of scratching and marring to take care of, but this here is a larger area, probably from a belt buckle while they were filling up the fluids and checking everything. This is going to take some wet sanding to take care of this. We're going to start with 3000 grit. I quite often do videos on wet sanding and repairing scratches, removing scratches like this, so feel free to look those up. Okay, next we quite simply use 5000 grit to remove the sanding marks from the 3000 grit we just made that we used to remove those scratches. So we're just stepping down. We're blending in at this point. And when you do jump from step to step, you don't want to be sanding the same areas. You want to span out 2 or 3 inches from the last step. It helps blend it in a lot better. And since the last step was 5000 grit, all we have to do is grab an ultra fine polish. This is Angel Wax Redemption, and put it on a soft polishing pad And it won't take a lot of passes, it won't take a lot of heat and pressure, and we've corrected this problem without a huge fluctuation of temperature on the same panel, and it's really reduces the stress on the clear coat. Could you have used a DA or a rotary to go back and forth and just make passes until the scratch is removed? Of course, it would take a heck of a lot longer. It would raise temperatures in excess of 130, 140 on the panel, putting the clear coat through a lot of stress that it's already been through. This is a brand new car. I don't want to do that when I don't have to. Okay, that's it. We're just going to use an IP solution to get any residue from our ultra-fine polish off of there. And we may even use a cleaner after this, see how it looks when I'm done, and get it ready for our two-stage correction. I'll tell you what, I'm just going to use it. That way it gives me a chance to talk about it because I get a ton of questions about the Angel Wax Perfect Polish. So yes, it is supposed to be thin like this. The consistency, the color, and the look of milk. It's made first and foremost to be a cleaner, but it does have very, very mild abrasives, so you can do some polishing and a little bit of jeweling, and that's what I'll do here. When it comes to what pads to team up with the Perfect Polish, I use two. I'll use this more firm polishing pad, and I'll also use the black, what most would call an application pad. That one does excellent cleaning if you already have the clarity you're looking for, but you just want to clean the surface, prep the surface for a coating, a wax, or a sealant. Okay, that's going to do it. I'll remove what little residue there is. There isn't a lot when you're using the Angel Wax Perfect Polish. But there we go. That scratch is taken care of, and we're ready to move on. Okay, before I do any kind of correction, I'm going to take care of the engine bay compartment when it comes to cleaning it. And we're going to clean every surface we can reach under the hood, any painted surface, any plastics, just about anything we can put a microfiber towel on. I'm going to use the American Detailer for that, and I just simply spray right onto the towel, and I clean off any oil or grease or any kind of surface dirt that I can get my hands on. This area is going to be protected as well, so we want to make sure it's perfectly clean, so we might as well get it done now, and it's ready to go. This is a rinseless cleaner, a rinseless wash from American Detailer Garage. I did a dedicated video on that as well. It does an excellent job inside, out, on just about any surface, any hard surface you can get your hands on. I quickly follow this up with an IP solution wipe, and then I get to protecting areas that I don't want any kind of polish, or I don't want the DA foam pad bumping up against, and that's going to be mostly the black plastic trim that's textured and some other pieces, but I definitely also protect and cover the wheel and tire, which are already cleaned and ready for protection. I don't want any kind of dust or residue from our polish getting on there, and that's going to do it. That'll end part 2. I'm going to take a short break. I'll see you back here for part 3.